Most people think about training like this. If it looks like the sport, it must be good for the sport. So if you're a sprinter, you do drills that look like sprinting. High knees, hip flexor raises with the knee up, that kind of thing. And on the surface, it makes sense. But this is where Dr. Yuri Verkhoshansky's completely flipped the thinking. He wasn't asking, does this look like the movement? He was asking, is this where force is actually produced? Because those are not the same thing. Take sprinting as an example. When you sprint, your hip flexors don't start working when your knee is already up. That's the end of the movement. What actually happens is this. Your leg is behind you. You push off the ground, toe off. From that extended position, that's when the hip flexors fire. They start the movement. They initiate the forward swing. That's where force is produced. The high knee position you see, that's just the result of what already happened. But most people train the opposite. They train here, knee high, hip already flexed, muscle already shortened. So yes, it looks like sprinting, but it's not where the work is actually being done. And this is the key shift. You don't train the position you can see. You train the moment that creates the movement. This is why Verkhoshansky used things like lying hip flexor work, starting from an extended position. Because now you're training, where the muscle actually has to produce force in the same position under the same conditions as the real movement. And this applies to everything, not just sprinting. Just because something looks right doesn't mean it transfers. If you train the position, you get good at the position. If you train where force is produced, you get transfer. Now, this is where people can misapply this. Because you might hear this and think, right, I need to train from that extended position. And yes, long-term, that's true. But if your hip flexors are weak, or you've got pain in the hip, that position is usually the exact place your body doesn't tolerate well yet. So if you jump straight into loading it hard, fast drills, banded drives, sprint work, you're not improving transfer. You're just irritating the system. So the order matters. Before you worry about how specific something is, you need to make sure you can actually produce force comfortably in the first place. So instead, you build it in layers. You start simple. Controlled movements, smaller ranges if needed, even isometric holds. Just teaching the hip flexors to switch on again, without pain, without threat. Then, you gradually open that up. You start working from more extended positions, but still controlled, still steady. Now you're moving closer to what we actually want, but you've earned it. And only after that. When strength is there, when control is there, when symptoms are stable, that's when you bring in speed. That's when you bring in intent. That's when dynamic correspondence actually starts to matter. Because this is the bit most people miss. Dynamic correspondence is not where you start, it's where you finish. So yes, train where force is produced. But first, make sure you can produce force at all. Train the capacity, then train the transfer.